A look back into the past, we see a time when Cry showed his collection of relics to his party members. They look at them in awe, and Liz tells Cry to fulfill his promise of helping her pick one out for herself. Luke says that it's not fair, and they all start trying all sorts of different relics in front of them. Citri asks Cry about a small bag, and Cry says that it's a magic bag, which can hold an infinite amount of items. Citri says that it must have cost a fortune to get a bag like this, but Cry reveals that it was pretty cheap, because it can only hold chocolates. Then Liz shows Cry a bracelet she picked up, and asks him about it, but before Cry can say anything, she feels wobbly and falls on the floor. Liz tries to get back up, but the bracelet makes her fall again, and Cry explains that it's a labyrinth ring, which causes the wearer to lose all sense of balance. Just then Luke picks up a sword, and says that it's cool, but Cry says that it is a cursed sword, and it makes Luke go crazy. Cry praises Luke by saying that normally this sword makes people lose their minds, but Luke is acting just like he always does, because he doesn't have a mind to lose. With this they find out that all these relics are just a bunch of trash, but because they all think of Cry as this cool leader, Luke and Liz pick up their relics as training items. Back to the present, everyone feels relieved to have Cry with them, and they start following him while making their way through the cave. Cry wonders why they are all making him lead the way, because it is his first time there, and Cry doesn't know where he is going. Cry turns around to ask Tino to switch with him, but as he looks back, everyone else starts looking back as well, because they think that Cry must have noticed something suspicious. After that they continue walking forward, and Cry wonders if Tino is mad at him, and if he should get on the ground and apologize. However, Gilbert speaks up, and asks Cry if they are going to the exit. Cry thinks about how he wants to go to the exit as well, but Cry doesn't know the way. Before Cry can reply, Tino says that she has a vague idea of the cave's layout from the map they saw before walking inside the cave, and according to that, there is no way that this path leads to the exit. Tino thinks that Cry must be testing them, and says that if they want to find the exit, they would have to walk back to the boss room. Cry wonders if those giant white wolves were the bosses, and Cry realizes that that must have been why they were so strong. They continue walking forward, and Cry thinks that it's about time he makes a turn to go back, but everyone becomes shocked, and they wonder how Cry knew about their location, and they rush forward. Cry wonders what they are talking about, and walks back to see that they found the party they needed to search for in the rescue mission, and they treated their wounds. Their leader introduced ES himself as Dave, and thanks the group for rescuing them. Tino says that he should thank their master Cry, because Cry is the one who predicted all this and led them there. However, Cry says that it was all just a coincidence, which makes everyone say that Cry is just really humble. Ruta says that she replenishes the mana with potions, but they will still need something to eat if they want to recover their health. Cry pulls out some of his chocolate bars and gives them to everyone. Cry also offers a special bar to Tino and tells her to eat these dark chocolates too, which makes her think that Cry is a god. After that, Greg says that he didn't think that a party of level 5 treasure hunters would be hurt by those half-masked wolves. Dave says that those wolf knights weren't the problem, because they were defeated by a single small phantom with a full-bone face. Dave calls it the embodiment of grudge, which makes everyone except Cry surprised. In the meantime, we see the masked phantom walk up to the pack of wolf knights from earlier. It unleashes its power to make them howl, with purple flames and glow surrounding them. Dave continues his story by saying that the phantom must be the curse of the Silver Moon, and was born out of the grudge of monsters that were slain in the treasure vault. Dave says that they are confident in their skills, but that monster was just on another level. It was especially disrespectful, because the monster just soloed them. Dave says that the phantom might even be at the level of the legendary Thousand Swords, and this shocks everyone. Cry says that the Thousand Swords is the title of the strongest swordsman in the Imperial capital, who mastered all forms of swordsmanship, and is said to be able to cut down any enemy with just a wooden sword. Cry thinks about how the Thousand Swords is actually one of his childhood friends, and a party member of Grievers named Luke. Cry believes that the Phantom of Grudges is pretty strong, but saying that it is on Luke's level is just an exaggeration. If that were true, Luke would have already slain it, but it might still be too difficult for Tino. Dave says that the first time they encountered the Phantom, it just played with them like toys, and the next time they won't survive for sure. Ruta asks Cry about their next move, and Cry says that before they face the Phantom, they need to look for a way out of the cave. However, Tino is their leader for this mission, so they should follow her lead. Tino says that she is nothing but dust compared to Cry, but Cry says that he will help her if needed, while thinking to himself that it is just too scary to lead the way. This gives Tino a lot of confidence, and Tino says that she can now run fine because her leg is healed. However, Cry reminds Tino that they have injured members, so they should be mindful of them. In reality, Cry knows that they just can't keep up with her speed if Tino starts running for real. Dave says that if they encounter the Phantom, he will act as a human shield, and Dave begs the others to escort his friends to the capital if that happens. However, one of his party members stops him and says that he will act as a human shield instead. Tino declares that she has no intention of leaving anyone behind, and as long as their master is with them, they will be alright. Just then they hear the wolves howling in the distance, and wonder if they are getting closer. Cry checks his rings, and notices that he only has 5 safe rings left, which means he would go down for real if he gets hit a 6th time. Cry's shot ring doesn't seem to be working either, and Cry lost Citri's slime as well. Besides that, Cry dropped the relic sword that he attached to his waist on the way here, and Cry wonders if he is actually screwed this time. Meanwhile, we see a masked figure walking through the mist in the cave. Gilbert and Greg stay on the lookout for attacks from the wolves and the Phantom. Just then Tino notices something strong coming their way, and Dave prepares to attack as well, but Cry stands in front of them. Cry thinks that if he uses Night Hiker to launch himself like a missile, he will lose 1 life, but it might help them take out the Phantom with a surprise attack. Soon the Phantom reveals itself from the mist, with purple flames behind it. Its sight makes Ruta and Gilbert really scared, and Tino looks from behind Cry's back as well. But then Tino notices the masked figure from earlier, and it makes her freak out really bad. Tino holds onto Cry's cape and begs him to help her. Tino says that she will be a good girl who will do her best, and asks Cry to save her this once. Just then Cry wonders why some masked girl is there as well. The Phantom looks back to see who is there, but the masked girl vanishes, and kicks the Phantom pretty hard. It turns out that the girl is actually part of the Grieving Souls, named Liz, and Liz walks up to Cry and asks him if that was their new member. Cry says that it wasn't, and asks Liz to take her mask off. Liz gives him the relic sword that Cry lost on the way, while the others wonder who she is. This makes Liz really mad, and she wonders how they never heard of the strongest party in the entire empire, and Liz wonders if they're imposters. Liz was really sad because when she went to the capital to find Cry, she was told that he was in this cave. Liz is embarrassed because of her apprentice, and she walks up to Tino and scolds her. Gilbert tries to stick up for Tino, but Liz kicks Gilbert very hard. Liz points out that she is busy apologizing to Cry for having a pathetic, useless, waste of space apprentice. Then Liz gets back to scolding Tino, and makes her feel bad for being born in this world. But Cry defends Tino by saying that she did her mission, and was a decent leader as well. This makes Liz calm down a bit, and Liz tells Tino that she is talented after all. However, Tino lacks motivation, and the will to die for her goals. Just then the Phantom gets up, and summons one of the Wolf Knights with a machine gun, scaring everyone. The wolf shoots them with a bunch of bullets, but Liz sighs and says that because of Tino, everyone thinks that she is weak as well. Then Liz uses her insane speed to catch all the bullets, and stacks them on the ground around her in a pattern. Everyone is amazed by this, and Liz says that such old weapons mean nothing to her, and that they are no big deal. Liz walks right up to the Wolf Knight, and says whether they were armor or not, these are mere mobs, and they can be slain in whatever way you want. Then Liz blows the monster up with one attack. After that, the Phantom attacks her with its sword, but Liz catches it in her fingers, and says that swords are useless as well. She can catch them, break them, and even play around with them. Liz wonders why Tino can't do all this, while kicking the Phantom into the air, and then sending it into the ground with a punch. Then Liz gets on top of it, and beats the Phantom to the dust, until the Phantom turns into a real ghost. After Tino cries from all the trash talk, Cry starts feeling bad for Tino. Then Cry welcomes Liz back, after Liz is done taking her anger out on the Phantom. Afterwards they return to the town, where Gilbert decides to give the Purgatory Sword to Thousand Tricks. Gilbert says that he will continue training with his old team, and one day he will be able to catch bullets like Liz. No one believes Gilbert can do it, and Tino says that if he really wants to be like Liz, then Gilbert should know that their masks are specially made. This takes back to 6 years ago when Cry made their masks, and it turns out that Cry messed up the order. Cry forgot to tell the mask maker to cut holes for their eyes, but everyone went along with it, because they thought that Cry did it on purpose. They thought it was a special feature to protect them from enemies' blinding attacks, and if they could learn to walk around in those, they would grow even stronger. Back in the present, Cry seems to be looking for something, and says he can't find it anywhere. Cry walks outside and hopes to forget about it. So now what will happen next? Subscribe to our channel to find out what will happen next. So friends, if you liked our recap video, then please like and share this video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.